There is no going back now in the Nashville Soccer Club's inaugural season. This is it, a club and city all in, all hands on deck to make the USL playoffs. In the way tonight, just one of the country's most legendary clubs, the Charleston Battery. It's the Holy City versus the Music City on a stormy night in Nashville. Game night for the Nashville Soccer Club. Welcome to a soaked and sure to be rowdy First Tennessee Park. It's where we are entering the final desperate stretch of the United Soccer League's regular season. And stepping to center stage tonight is 4th place Charleston and 10th place Nashville, a match boiling over with playoff implications. Welcome to our broadcast presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners. Welcome to our broadcast position, joined by former U.S. men's national team player and World Cup participant Desmond Armstrong. I'm John Freeman. It's a rematch of the first time these two teams met, a 1-1 draw in the low country of South Carolina. Desmond, here we are on a rainy night in Nashville. What do the boys in gold have to do to get 3 points?
Attack, attack, attack. They have to get these 3 points. They have to make use of playing the ball wide, getting crosses in, and finishing those crosses in order to get those points and put themselves in a better position to get to the playoffs.
Weather could play a factor tonight, a downpour on the field, and right in the midst of it is our Nana Taha.
It's definitely downpouring, John, but I talked to Coach Gary Smith before the game about what it's going to take for the team to score some points and convert those crosses into goals.
I think a little bit of both. 27 crosses Tuesday night. Combination of inaccurate delivery, maybe slightly delayed delivery, not quite sharp enough movement, meant that a number of those crosses were not effective enough. But I have to say the goal came from one of those very good crosses, and we had 2 other outstanding opportunities later on in the game. In fact, one just before they got their second. So there's certainly product coming out of those areas. And again, today it'll be an area that we focus on.
Well, this rain is definitely going to play a factor in that. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Nada, for the report and for braving the weather. We are just minutes away from one of the most pressure-packed professional soccer matches this city has ever seen. Historic Charleston, upstart Nashville is next. Swords are ready to be crossed at First Tennessee Park. The competitors have exited the tunnel. It's time for our starting lineups brought to you by Pinnacle Financial Partner. The Charleston Battery reveal a lineup that features 4 permutations from the side that drew Charlotte on Wednesday night. Leading scorer Atula Guerra serving the final game of a 3-game suspension for violent conduct. In his place, the piping hot Patrick Okonkwo, 4 goals in his last 4 games.
Very exciting player. One that also provides some type of defensive coverage for the rest of the team, for a team that on the road is looking to tie.
Battery led by one of the longest tenured coaches in not only the country but across the global soccer landscape. Mike Anhauser in his 19th season on the sidelines, 5 years as an assistant, 14 now as the head manager. Turning our attention to the home side, 2 revisions from Tuesday's devastating loss to Tampa Bay injected in Taylor Washington and Ish Joe. But in a game of such consequence, steel and determination are essentials. Nashville has it with the inexhaustible Matt LaGrassa.
What a player. Action, action, action. He does it all up, all over the field. Up top, in the middle, defensively. Anything you need, he's there.
Nashville led by English manager Gary Smith, who told us quite simply, quote, "A victory is absolutely vital. This is the biggest game of the season," end quote from Gary Smith. Well, a season that has summited incredible peaks and explored the deepest ravines, it leads to this, a treacherous 6-game, mine-filled passage to reach the playoffs. Nashville SC's postseason odyssey forges ahead again, and this perilous journey marches forward in a drenching downpour in Music City. Charleston in the road, whites in Nashville, and the unmistakable and glowing golds. Our Vanderbilt health injury report tonight. Chris Tierpak still feeling the aftershocks of his injury several weeks ago versus Charlotte. Bradley Bourgeois was a game-time decision. He will not start, but he is in the 18 and available tonight. Nashville has been so good at home this season. In fact, 27 of their 39 points have come in Music City. Charleston, on the other end, one of the best road teams in the USL. They have only lost 3 times away from the Low Country this season. Desmond, we were talking beforehand, you have so much experience playing in a World Cup, playing for the U.S. national team. Surely you played in conditions like this. How does it change the game for the players?
For a team that's playing in rain like this, you have to be very, very certain of your ground, types of shoes that you have, and also short steps and going for the ball. Can't overcommit.
Offside flag was up on Okonkwo for Charleston.
You know, for a defender, they hate playing in weather like this.
Man in the middle tonight, Farhad Dadko, his day job, vice president of a billion-dollar bank in Portland, Oregon. Tonight he presides over his 16th USL match of the season. Not fond of penalties, just 1 given in his previous 15 appearances refereeing in this league. Nashville coming off a 2-1 loss to Tampa Bay on Tuesday night. It was an own goal in the second half that sealed the victory for the Rowdies. On their first venture forward, Tucker Hume and Nashville SC have their first Coca-Cola corner kick of the evening. It's Michael Reed, the captain, over to take it. Farhad Gadko wanting words with Ish Joe, who's bothering the keeper, Odisnell Cooper, the Cuban. Comes the corner from Michael Reed. Whipped in near post. Chance here! Deflected around and cleared out. What's a flying start for Nashville? Back post service! Just wide from Tucker Hume. Fangs out and glands full of venom for Nashville on the start. 2 clear-cut opportunities, Desmond.
Yeah, one of these situations in which the ball goes wide and then comes back to the back post for Hume, who tries to get on the end of it, but hits wide. Big deal for Nashville in terms of crossing balls in. Many more opportunities. Lost balls in terms of skipping off the heads of the defenders. Something, again, a defender does not like in the rain are cross balls.
That was Gary Smith's game plan coming in. Even when he didn't know the weather forecast, he told us earlier this week that he wanted his players to be getting up the wide sides of the field and to be showering the box with crosses. Now that game plan even aided more by this weather. Charleston moving forward with Gordon Wild, testing Matt Pickens, spilled the rebound. The veteran goalkeeper claims his first save of the evening.
Shows great leadership there, getting the ball and pushing the players out, distribution and everything.
Gordon Wild, the Atlanta United loanee, 22 years old. From your alma mater, Desmond, University of Maryland.
Mighty Terps, my friend. Mighty Terps.
First start in 4 games for Wild. Grosso whistled for the foul in the middle of the pitch.
There it is, all action, I told you. Anything you need. Fouls, assists, passes, goals. Slight push in the back. Ball to Charleston.
Grosso, in some cases this season, has played higher up the field. He's a true center mid today. Gary Smith wants to get this ball back into play so fast. Urgency already in the 6th minute for Nashville. They know 3 points tonight would launch them back into playoff position. A draw and they would fall asleep outside of the playoff bubble with the season dwindling down. Here's Justin Davis, the outside back. Moved in to be a center back this evening. Bradley Bourgeois questionable with a hamstring injury. Kimura. LaGrassa trying to send Joe down the right channel. The line by Jay Bolt. Taken away by Joe. Denied by Vincenzo Candela, 23-year-old Colombian. Hume has found a pocket of space. It's an alluring service. Taylor Mueller, the captain, able to smash it away. It's a shot coming in and whipped just wide. It was Michael Reed searching for his first goal in Nashville gold, and the captain firing the cannon himself.
About 20 yards out, not a bad run of play there. Take the shot from distance and hope that it hits the target, just wide.
Keep up to date with Nashville SC all season long by visiting NashvilleSC.com. Access the latest team news, content, merchandise, ticket offers, promotions, and more. Check out NashvilleSC.com today. Tom Brian Anuga wanting the loose ball in the midfield. Cleaning up the loose change was Reed. Washington hooks up with Reed, recruiting LaGrassa into the attack. Read by Bolt. Running on is Kimura, going down in a peculiar spot on a wet field. Desmond, a prime free kick for Nashville SC.
Without question, about 35 yards out. They'll take the time to set up. Looking to serve it to the back post. Hume as a target, 6'5", big man. Either a direct shot on goal or a knockdown for follow-up runners.
Standing over is Michael Reed. Nashville's been known to run scripted routines in the attacking third with a set piece. The obvious option in the box, the 6'5" Tucker Hume. It's Reed. It's a heat-seeking service. LaGrassa heading it down. Hume! They score! Massive night! Colossal goal! It's the big man who's delivered in spectacular fashion. 1-0 Nashville. the Dex Imaging goal, a bicycle kick from Tucker Hume.
First attempt by Doyle, it goes down to the ground, and then Hume is able to get to it. Semi-bicycle kick in the back of the net.
It was spilled by Odisnell Cooper. It is a 9th-minute goal for Tucker Hume. It is a crucial goal in Nashville's quest for the playoffs. Okonkwo, Wild has run on his left foot, save made by Pickens. How about that response from Charleston? And this game is just getting started, Desmond Armstrong.
No question. One of the things that happens when you score a goal is that your team has a mental block. It goes quiet for a second. That's what gave Charleston the opportunity to come back down and get a shot on goal. Now things are calming down, moving forward.
For Tucker Hume, his 4th goal of the season. A 25-year-old. It's a dream start for Gary Smith's squad. Charleston, so good on the road. They've earned a result in 11 of their 14 road matches this season. But they are on the ropes early, and now what feels like a monsoon from First Tennessee Park. We've seen situations like this in the very first friendly of the season. Rain of this proportion, and there was some standing water on the pitch in that game. We'll see if it starts accumulating right where you see the faint lines of a baseball infield.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much rain actually comes down on the field. The field was actually hard because it hadn't rained here for some time. How much rain does the field take on as the game progresses? One of the key things for Nashville right now will be possession of the ball. Drive it forward and try to put some more pressure on Charleston's defense in terms of serving balls in, hoping for a drop down like they got in the previous play to get the goal.
Into the attack, Skylar Thomas, 24-year-old Canadian, former Toronto FC Academy player. Mueller. Out the feet of Neville Hackshaw. Jay Bolt, there's the standing water that we thought would come.
Wow.
Now keep in mind, several Nashville players have played in these type of conditions against Atlanta United in the preseason friendly back in February, but there also are several players for Nashville that didn't play in that game because they've been signed after that game. Ibo Maloto lost possession. Member of our broadcast crew down on the field. Poor Nada Taha is down there in the downpour. Nada, what's it like down in the monsoon?
It is. Monsoon is a good word. I mean, we're in definite standing water out here. It's gotten worse since the game started. And I talked with strength and conditioning coach Stacey Daniels about what it takes, you know, in the training sessions for them to be prepared for this kind of weather. And he said it's all about stabilization and balance, and that happens in the weight room.
Thank you, Nada. For those days, Desmond, in the weight room.
Long ago, my friend, thank God. But I don't think anything can really prepare you for the type of water that's standing right now on this field. It's not an advantage to either team. It's a matter of just durability.
Players flying all over the place. Kosuke Kimura is down. Official comes from Farhad Dadko.
The one good thing about the fact that Nashville is on this side of the field at this point with all of the water coming down is the fact that in the second half, they will not have to think defensively with the ball dying in standing water.
Well, who's an advantage for? You're saying it's better to be defending the better portion of the pitch, the one that doesn't have the standing water on.
Correct.
This is coming from a former national team defender. I'm
Correct.
definitely getting a qualified opinion here.
It is qualified. I'm just saying that, hey, they can go ahead with the lead, sit back, be aware of the fact that there is standing water. And thus then in the second half, they don't have to worry about it from a defensive context, but then they can go ahead and attack and also attack from a more dynamic perspective, hoping that there's going to be
Hume trying to send Meloto onto his way. Don't miss out on any Nashville SC content, prizes, promotions, and behind-the-scenes action. Follow our handle Nashville SC on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat today. Farhan Danko, our center official, born in Iran, moved to the United States as a 15-year-old, didn't know English, began refereeing to pay for his college, is now working his way up the ladder. Tough to officiate a game with these conditions. Quick reminder to the fans at home that this match presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Play hard and bank easy. Hopeful service from Skylar Thomas. Down to the feet of LaGrassa. Pass comes wide from the engine room. Washington. The trusty Liam Doyle, reliable center back, thunderous cannon of a left foot. It's a poor turnover right in the middle of the pitch. Okonkwo was Doyle covering. Brian Woodbine, the Jamaican prospecting. Wild. To slip through Okonkwo. Tracked down by Brian Anunga. Now Woodbine. Placed the service well over the goal of Matt Pickens.
You can see Charleston is now putting more pressure on Nashville in their final third, hopefully trying to get the ball intercepted and thus then get an opportunity like that.
Well, Nashville in the midst of its best scoring stretch of 2018. Coming in, they had scored 8 goals in their last 4 games, and they pick up right where they left off. Problem is they haven't been reeling out victories in that midst, because they've also been in this same stretch their worst defensive performances of the season. This man is a problem, though. It's the hulking striker, Tucker Hume. Gonna shake off his defender. Dials up a pass to Matt LaGrassa. It's a real serpentine build-up. They found Taylor Washington. Now Justin Davis onto his left foot. Back post service, sent without a mailing address and no one home. And out of bounds for a goal kick.
Wasn't a bad sequence, actually. Ball started on the right-hand side, put it back to the middle, and then exploited the left-hand side for a one-on-one to get on goal. Execution was poor, though.
Desmond, you've played with some legendary goalkeepers. It was a clear mistake by Cooper. And when it comes early in the match, what is his mindset for the rest of the game? Essentially 85 minutes for him after the mistake. Try and keep the ball out of the back of the net again.
Of course, but, you know, keep his composure, keep his defensive players in front of him, and also give them some encouragement in terms of direction. What has to happen is this. They scored, okay, no problem. Get it out of your mind, get organized, and there's a lot of time in the game to go and get a goal. The question becomes whether or not Charleston is able to win the midfield battle. Their formation is a 3-4-3, so they have numbers in the midfield. It's countered by a 4-4-2, so to speak, with Nashville. Who wins the midfield is really going to determine the outcome of the game.
Just like that, the downpour reduced to a drizzle. Charleston attacking in better conditions. Woodbine dispossessed by Reed. Grassa survey. Kimura. Constellation of passes. They take a route one approach now. It's Lebo Maloto. Joe. Percussive passing from Nashville. Trying to find a seam and a crack in this very stubborn Charleston defense. Patient build up. Kimura whips in the service. Cut out by Mueller. "20 minutes in. Nashville leading off the early goal from Tucker Hume. A bicycle kick. It was spilled by Odisnell Cooper, the goalkeeper. Nevertheless, Nashville will take it. Jump. Got his loose pass back. Maloto. He's found a wingman in Taylor Washington. Maloto turning back infield. Win. Hard to slip it back for Maloto. The ball died right before it could get to the end line. It's quite unpredictable where the standing water is on this field.
I would say if there's any advantage, it's to Nashville because they're going to know where the standing water is and be able to actually react to anything that happens on the field by way of a ball stopping. The key for Nashville, though, will have to be good possession of the ball. They had a great sequence there, about 4 or 5 to 10 passes in which they have possession. Now the issue is, can they have a penetrating pass to really get in on goal as opposed to a hopeful ball being whipped in? Good leadership right here. Get his team up the field and drive the ball forward. 50-50 when it goes up in the air like that, but hopefully they can get, oh, it drops.
Kimura. Hume, big target. Couldn't get his desired touch on to send Lebo Maloto down the middle of the pitch. Grassa brushes a pass to Joe. It's a trial with the outside back, and Jay Bolt take on another player. Zigzagging his way in, put it on his non-dominant foot. Out for a goal kick. Secure your place in line for MLS tickets. Don't miss any of the Nashville SC action in 2019 by becoming a season ticket member today. Go to NashvilleSC.com to submit your deposit for 2019 Nashville SC season tickets.
Have you got yours yet, John?
Of course.
Of course you do.
I've got mine tonight.
Right
I've
there.
never
Yep.
sat in those seats. Clearly, since we've got quite a nice dry view up here. Foul about 30 yards away from the target as Okonkwo went down. A breath of possibility for Charleston.
And this could be dangerous. Again, wet conditions. It could be to the advantage of Charleston right now in terms of service, ball dropping in the box, and have to be aware of whether or not the ball is going to die where they're sitting water inside the 18.
O'Brien Woodbine and Taylor Mueller are the two candidates to take the free kick. The lead entry is Vincenzo Candela. Looks like reduced to a one-man committee now of Mueller, the captain. Real sizzling service from Mueller, punched out by Pickens, and it pinballs in. 1-1 out of chaos. An equalizer born for Charleston, and the visitors right back in it. The last touch came from Brian Ta Anunga. Not sure he knew anything about it.
I'm certain he didn't. Pickens decides to punch as opposed to catch, probably based off of the conditions. Unfortunately, it ricochets off of the Charleston striker, goes right in the back of the net.
A deflating goal for Nashville, which it took such a vital lead for Anunga. His fourth goal. It's actually his first point. Point meaning goal or assist since early July. I'll break this down for us, Desmond. It's a low punch, and then Anunga just right there on the spot.
Exactly. It's an end swinger with the left foot going straight into the goal mouth. Pickens has a decision to make whether or not he catches the ball to secure it or punch it out. And like I said before, because of the conditions, he elected to punch the ball out. Unfortunately, it rebounded off of their striker.
Now Charleston looking for more. The attack building at the feet of Wild. Expertly extracted by Liam Doyle. Lone target up top is Tucker Hume, who's done very well to preserve the possession. Full-blooded challenge in the midfield by Candela. Kimura venturing forward. Joe, first time service. Denied by Hackshaw. And Nashville will reload. We'll try the other side this time. It's the irrepressible Lebo Melodo. Now Allen Wynn turning on the Jets to the inline. Squares it across. Safety clearance for Charleston. A nice response from Nashville after conceding.
Without question, that's a great play right there in terms of getting beyond the defender, going to the inline, and then cutting the ball back to the top of the six. A more advantageous approach, I believe, than a cross, a hopeful cross into the box.
Doyle towards the head of Hume, running on and going back post. Nearly there for the tap-in was Melodo. And he's down, and there's a big gash on the pitch where he went to the floor. I think he was expecting to be able to slide on the surface. Instead, his knee stuck right into it. And that is a terrifying sight for Nashville players, the Nashville coaches, and the Nashville supporters. The most creative and arguably the most important player on this team down and receiving health from Vanderbilt Health System, support from the Vanderbilt Health System, and yeah, we got caught right on that grass.
Yeah, backside ball from Doyle to the backside there, with Lebo going on to the second runner and trying to get to it. Looks like he jammed his foot into the ground, which then contracted his knee. Hopefully it won't be a bad report here. He's moving around. Obviously in some pain.
Melodo, one of the best stories in the USL. Grew up in a small town in South Africa. Was spotted at a youth soccer tournament by the head coach of Lindsey Wilson College, a tiny school in Columbia, Kentucky of 2,600 students. Went and played for the Blue Raiders. Eventually found his way to the USL. It's his first season, obviously, in Nashville. And is having a career year. 7 goals and 5 assists.
That would be a blow if he's not able to make it back into the game because, as you mentioned, 7 goals, several assists. He is the creative genius in the midfield for the team. Today he happens to be playing up top as opposed to directly in the middle of the pitch.
He's been such a dangerous player as of recent. Had gone 10 straight games without a goal. He's ripped off a goal in 2 straight coming into this. In fact, he scored Nashville's last 2 goals as a team.
In the waning minutes of the game, as a matter of fact.
Referencing the wild 3-3 draw against North Carolina FC. Charleston constructing the attack. They've woven it into the box. There's Gordon Wild trying to pick out that upper 90, that far side post. Wild is a player that hails from Germany, spent his youth career at one of the top youth development clubs there called Mainz. He has 6 goals this season, but on a 9-game goal drought. He was one of the top players in the USL to start and has cooled off significantly, and that's not a good sign for Nashville when Lebo Moloto is removing his jersey and Brandon Allen being prepared as a substitute. Another player down for Nashville, it's Kosuke Kimura.
Hopefully it's not a concussion situation right there.
Reminder to our fans at home that tonight's match presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Play hard and bank easy. Nashville yet to get their substitution in. So they're playing with 10 men right now. Kimura trying to beat the ball to the inline. Couldn't do it. Brandon Allen still being prepared, and well, he's going to come in pretty cold in this one, Desmond.
It'll take for a couple of passes for him to get into the rhythm of the game and get up to speed. A quality player, but you have to think that with Lebo getting injured and going out, it's a tremendous blow for Nashville, with Charleston just having tied up the game.
Yeah, and it's not only a tremendous blow for Nashville this game with Moloto going down. They have such a busy, compressed schedule heading down this final stretch. A game on Wednesday in Atlanta, a game on Saturday, next Saturday versus New York Red Bulls. These are some big games for Nashville. And they will hope for a quick recovery from Lebo Moloto. But now the weight of scoring goals falls on the shoulders of Brandon Allen, 2016 USL Rookie of the Year for the New York Red Bulls 2 squad. One of the most prolific goal scorers in USL history. 37 career goals for Allen, and now just his 3rd season in this league.
Well, if you need somebody to come off the bench, I think he's a good one.
Charleston exploring the entire width of the pitch. Targets in the 18. Conquo was late to arrive.
Looking to press the issue there is a direct ball down the middle. Target man Hume again, and looking for Nashville to pick the second ball out and put pressure on Charleston in their half. It's worked out. They have the throw in into the final third here. They've got to possess the ball a lot better, though.
It's a hefty touch from Reed. It's conceded possession in the middle of the pitch. Candela using his space. Lofted ball towards Okonkwo. In a foot race with Justin Davis. Scholarly work from Kosuke Kimura. Couldn't send Jome down the sideline. Washington, it's a positive first touch. Neatly done by LaGrassa, and here's Allen Wynn, wanting to audition the defender Skylar Thomas. It's Washington making a lung-busting run. Overcooked the cross. Tracked down by Joe. Trying to put it onto his dangerous left foot. Instead he goes right. That's a great cross from Joe. It's easily cleared by Taylor Mueller, the captain.
Again, another situation, 1-on-1. On the outside flanks, getting to the touchline and putting the ball across to the front of the goal. Just has to be met by a Nashville player to tuck it in.
They put it in the perfect spot. Hume, he's onside. He's earned the corner kick. He is a handful. Neville Hackshaw, his central defender, giving up 6 inches to Tucker Hume. Give an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch on USLsoccer.com. The Coca-Cola corner kick for Nashville SC. They've told Michael Reed to pause. There's some commotion right at the top of the 6. Disnell Cooper, the goalkeeper, and Ish Joe once again grappling in the 6-yard box. Comes the corner from Reed. Hume got his head to it. Couldn't steer it on frame.
Yeah, he's a handful, big man. Fairly proficient on the ground with the ball at his feet. He's not just a one-horse, one-trick pony.
Foul call goes against Nashville. Interestingly enough, Desmond, looking at Nashville, when they score first this season, which they've done in this game, although Charleston's equalized, when Nashville has scored first this season, they are unbeaten. 13 wins and 3 ties. On the other end, when they get scored on first, they have not won a single game, and they've been scored on first 12 times. So they got at least the score the first goal part out of the way, but the quick equalizer for Charleston has negated the advantage.
Indeed, it speaks to the strength of Charleston, what they actually aim for in their away games.
It's a set piece for the Battery. It's a deflected kick, and it'll be a corner kick for the visitors. Charleston, the oldest continuously operating professional soccer club in the United States. Founded in 1993 and has played every season since then. In fact, they're 4 years older than Nashville's youngest player, Ropapa Mensah. So we stay there, one of the most historic clubs in the country. They certainly are. 10 straight playoff appearances for the Battery. Wild's corner kick dealt with by Pickens. He was harmed on his way. It was Victor Mansoret, former Sounders Academy product, getting in the way of the veteran.
Again, with these conditions, it's really, really tough for the defenders as well as the goalkeepers. Pickens does well there to punch the ball again up and away this time, as opposed to when he was lower, in which the goal was conceded.
Going back, the call may have been that that corner kick actually bent out of bounds.
It did look out of bounds.
And then came back into play.
But speaking about the fact of the conditions and what the goalkeepers and defenders actually face.
So Nashville, without its playmaker Lebo Maloto, who exited just moments ago with an injury. Arnauta Taha down on the sideline. What's the update, Nada?
He just left the sideline on crutches, and from what I could hear, it sounds like an MCL injury.
Well, surely they will use all the technology available to them to find that out officially, but anytime you see that shot this late in the season in this final push for the playoffs, it is a heartbreaking image for Nashville SC.
No question, a tough blow, not only for Lebo, but also for the team as a whole. If it is an MCL, hopefully it's a sprain as opposed to a tear, which would be positive news for him.
Alan Wynn with an acre of space in front of him, trying to take Skylar Thomas off the dribble. Guides him to the end line, poked back across by Wynn. It pinballs around, and it's going to end up being a corner kick for Nashville SC. Soccer fans, pick up the latest NSC gear today online at shop.nashvillesc.com or come by our team store located at 650 Rundle Avenue. Skylar Thomas is no match for the speed of Alan Wynn.
I like Wynn. One-on-ones, he is not shy. He wants to go at him. He's gotten past him each time to the end line and is pushing balls back, and now we have a corner kick.
Reed's corner, whipped in, destroyed by Victor Mansoret. Roped back in by Kimura. And a high boot from Hume draws the whistle of Farhad Dadko.
Again, one of the keys,
who's down. Sorry, Desmond.
I was going to say, one of the keys again is not just whipping the ball into the space there. These are hopeful balls that are being whipped in there, and thus then giving away possession. Charleston has the ball coming forward now. Plays into their hands. Good read by Pickens to come out there and get possession of the ball. Comes off his line, secures it, and now the question is, good, a rollout. Nashville can then incrementally get up the field.
That's flicked along. The attack builds quickly at the feet of Allen Wynn. Matched up with Mueller, the captain. And again, earns the corner kick. They have found a matchup they like, and they continue to feed that man, the North Carolina graduate, Allen Wynn.
No question. I think every single time he should have the ball one-on-one. Again, and not shy. He's looking for this type of setup to get past him, run to the end line, and then put the ball right back across to the 6. If he doesn't get that, they get what Nashville has right now, a corner kick.
It's another Coca-Cola corner kick for Nashville SC. The 41st minute. A couple off-duty defenders have ventured forward for the boys in gold. It's sent in towards Tucker Hume. Was beaten to it by Skylar Thomas. They're going to say that last touched Nashville's striker. Will be a goal kick for the visitors.
Ball starts to the back post there. One-on-one, Hume and Thomas.
Thomas in his second season in Charleston. Was a first-round pick in the MLS draft for Toronto. Settled nicely in the USL, over 70 career appearances for the 24-year-old. The rain starts to pick up again, as does Nashville's interest in going forward. It's Tucker Hume. It's a driven service. Arriving was Brandon Allen. Mansoret shrugging off LaGrassa. Allen nearly got Wynn in behind the defense. Allen will have another go at it. Allen dancing around as a defender. Went down. Not going to get the call from Farhad Dadko.
No, lost his footing there.
Full-blooded challenge from Justin Davis, and it's a clean one. And now Nashville, a chance to ignite the counterattack. It's Hume. He's picked out his former college teammate, Allen Wynn. A one-on-one against Skylar Thomas. Sends it to LaGrassa. First-time strike. Well over the crossbar from the Californian. End-to-end action, Desmond.
Nice change up this time as opposed to running to the end line. He comes back across the top of the box for LaGrassa, who doesn't make good contact here, but the run was good. A delayed run coming to the top of the box. The ball's there. Instead of using the side foot, maybe it's a driven ball at the top of the foot, and it hits the target. Unfortunately, not this time.
It is a captivating contest. Chances flying in each minute. Both teams chock full of potential goal scorers. The conditions just seem to add to it, Desmond. But a very clean, fast-paced, attacking game. Stay up to date with all the best from social media around the USL by watching Off the Post with Kelsey Steele every Friday evening on the USL's social media channels. 45th minute. Nashville took the lead early. The Tucker Hume goal. It was answered by a fluky response by Brian Anunga. The ball was pinballing around the box and it bounced off of Anunga and into the back of the net. Gordon Wild on loan from Atlanta United. On a 9-game goal drought. Brian Woodbine has a very long throw-in. It's been apparent all season they treat these almost like corner kicks. That's why you see all of the Charleston players have ventured into the box. Here comes the cannon from Woodbine. Scouted out by Hume.
Defense did well there to adjust to the long throw, and to your point, it is used as a long throw similar to that of a corner kick. The difference is the trajectory of the ball is a little bit different, which makes it more difficult for the goalkeeper to come off the line to get the ball. Defense did well.
Well, typical rule in soccer is each goal and a half adds about a minute of stoppage time, and they follow the rule to the T. 2 minutes of stoppage time here in this first half. Joan with a steely win of possession in the midfield. Hume turning. LaGrassa was closed down by Okonkwo. And now Hackshaw slicing his way, marauding his way through the defense. It's a captain's challenge from Michael Reed. Hackshaw didn't like it.
Definite
Neither
card.
did Victor Mansoret. The yellow card is out. And Victor Mansoret might get one as well if he continues to involve himself in the altercation. I think Reed is gesturing that he got the ball.
Professional foul there. He was beat. Clips him to stop the progression towards the goal. A lot of times in the last couple of minutes, last 2 minutes of the first half or a half, players can sort of check out, if you will, ride off of whether or not the score is leading or tied. It's a very dangerous moment right here.
So there is the yellow card against Michael Reed. He was going to either get the ball or the man. There was no way he was going to let Neville Hackshaw slalom his way through the defense this late in the half on a counterattack.
Set up for a left-footed free kick into the box. Suspected it will come just before, drop just before the 6.
So here's the foul.
Here's the look right here.
The slide from LaGrassa. It's a fair one.
Puts the ball around on the other side of the player, skips past, and here we are, one-on-one. And yes, professional foul. Instead of being outrun, I'll take him down. We got a little bump on the ref there.
Set piece for Charleston. The closing stages of the first half. Alan Wynn was tugged on. It'll be a free kick for Charleston. And well, now we're over the 2 minutes of added time. With the most recent yellow card. And the reason for this extended time here in this first half. All eyes on Farhad Danko, Iranian-born referee. He's going to let Nashville have one last thrust forward. Hume smartly knew that Joam was over on the right channel. Wants to audition Jay Bolts. Joam's left-footed service dealt with by Cooper. That should surely be the final play of the first half. Well, Farhad Danko says, let's go forward. Both teams trying to rush up and down the field, knowing that time is limited. And there is the whistle. A gritty, a dynamic, expressive first half for Nashville. An early goal from Tucker Hume gave the host side a valuable lead. It was erased by Brian Anunga of the Charleston Battery. And those any weather, anytime fans have 45 more minutes of action along with their team to try and get 3 points out of this one. 1-1 at First Tennessee Park, Nashville SC and the Charleston Battery. It's our halftime presented by Nissan, and it's coming up after these words on MyTV 30 and ESPN+.
It's clearly a rainy and cold day out here. The match is 1-1, but you know, sometimes when we're watching these games, you wonder what really goes into scoring these goals. Well, Captain Michael Reed has the rewind, and you're gonna watch right now how he decides what he's gonna do with his feet and how he's gonna play the ball for his goals.
I'm Michael Reed. This is episode 2 of The Rewind.
Around the country, Colorado, Atlanta, and now Nashville to play for the English skipper. Corner kick sent in. It's driven towards Bradley Bourgeois! His first goal for Nashville SC!
This one I switched it up to my laces to make it more of a driven ball in the center of the box. It was great to see Bradley make the right run, which he does, but it was even better to see him get up and then hit it on frame. So with the laces and choosing the laces to strike it, it makes it harder for the keeper to come out because of the speed, where the ball is being held, and he can't come out, especially with the height as well.
We're hoping the rain holds up for the second half, and we'll have the first half highlights after the break.
back at a soaked First Tennessee Park. They're trying to squeegee the water off the field. That is the portion of the pitch that Nashville will be attacking in the second half. But right now, after 45 minutes, Nashville SC won and the Charleston Battery won on our halftime, presented by Nissan. John Freeman, joined by former U.S. men's national team and World Cup player Desmond Armstrong. And Desmond, let's take a look at our stats here in the first half from First Tennessee Park. There's a lot on there that looks pretty even, but the one that really stands out to me off screen, Nashville had 11 crosses to Charleston's 2 in the first 45 minutes.
Without question, I would like to see that Nashville continues to attack from the outside and getting inside the box. Another stat that you had not mentioned, but you alluded to, is the fact that they had more shots inside the box than Charleston. If they can continue to get the ball on the outside to win in particular, beating the player one-on-one, going in and getting those balls across, I think they can be successful in getting the second goal.
And the statistic there at the bottom of your screen, duels percentage, that's when it's a contested ball and two players are going after it with an equal chance to win it. In those situations, Nashville's won 61%, exactly what you want to see from a team that is so desperate to make the playoffs like Nashville.
No question. Another player to take a look at is the big man, 6'5", Hume. He's done well when he's on the right-hand side of the goal, when he's not in competition one-on-one with Thomas, because they're of equal size and power and strength. And so those one-on-one duels, I think, also leads to the opportunity for Nashville to get the second goal.
Yeah, and another measurement that we don't have on the screen could be inches of rain in the last hour or so. It has been pouring rain at First Tennessee Park. It has greatly impacted the run of play. Let's go ahead and get a weather forecast from our friends at Fox 17.
Soccer fans, hello. I'm meteorologist Justin Chambers with Fox 17. Well, hopefully enjoying the game and enjoyed the game with temperatures that are in the 70s, keeping those 70s around here as you head home. Mostly cloudy skies, a few showers here and there, and guess what? We get more rain for you on Sunday. We're going to keep that wet weekend going as we usher in fall, of course, autumn on Saturday night, and now Sunday will be our first full day of fall. Very fall-like temperatures with more rain on the way. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much, Justin. We are getting ready for the second half, perhaps the most important second half of Nashville SC's inaugural season. Can they find 3 points tonight against the Charleston Battery? First half highlights and the second half kickoff are next. Welcome back to a drenched First Tennessee Park as we get ready for the second half. Nashville SC and the Charleston Battery tied at 1 after a compelling first 45 minutes of action here in Middle Tennessee. We'll welcome you up to our broadcast position here at First Tennessee Park. John Freeman, former World Cup player Desmond Armstrong along with you. Let's dive right into our first half highlights. We will start with the visitors' highlights first. It was a fluky goal for the Charleston Battery, but an important one, Desmond, and a fluke goal for Brian Tahanuga.
Without question, Pickens comes out for the cross that's coming straight into the 6-yard box. He tries to punch it as opposed to catching the ball, and it rebounds off of the Charleston forward to give them their goal, an equalizer, as a matter of fact.
Now, at that point in the game, that goal made it 1 goal apiece because Nashville had the opener in this contest, the bicycle kick from Tucker Hume, and the spilled Saint from Odisno Cooper.
Tremendous effort right there in terms of the ball bouncing toward him with his back to the goal. He thinks quickly, goes for the bicycle kick. It's in the hands of the goalkeeper for Charleston, but he doesn't hold on to it, and thus then Nashville is up 1-0 at this point.
Now, we talked so much during this game how vital of a match it is for Nashville SC. Here is the reason why right now, with standings updated live, Nashville isn't even in the top 10 in the conference. However, if Nashville SC were able to get 3 points in this contest, they would not only jump onto your screen, they would jump above that playoff dividing line with 42 points. They would jump the Ottawa Fury and would have games in hand. It is such a razor-thin margin in the USL Eastern Conference.
Without question, there's so much parity within the context of those teams that are fighting for a position into the playoffs. This game is vitally important. They need the points, all 3 to be exact.
This is where Nashville is right now, 11th in the USL Eastern Conference. Historically, in the USL Eastern Conference, the last 3 years, the difference between making the playoffs and not making the playoffs has been 2 or less points. Every single point matters for the rest of this season for Nashville. Boys in gold back out onto the pitch. They are still squeegeeing the water on the side in which Nashville will attack in this most crucial second half. Desmond, talk about the tactics for both sides. Charleston has top 4 aspirations. You wouldn't necessarily say they'd be thrilled with a point on the road, but they would probably take it if it was given to them. For Nashville SC, a point at home just isn't enough tonight.
Without question, from a context of Nashville, they need the 3 points. Better to get 1 as opposed to 0 because they have some still forward momentum to try to push themselves into the playoffs. For Charleston, as you have mentioned, they're not going to be ecstatic about just taking 1 point, but you might say they will be. That is part of their tactic when they play away from home to play for a tie. They'll do whatever has to happen to get a point from the game. As opposed to 3, they'll take 1.
45 minutes gone, 45 minutes to go. Late in Nashville's inaugural season, the boys in gold sitting outside of playoff position in desperate need of a go-ahead goal against one of the country's most historic clubs, the Charleston Battery. Back underway at First Tennessee Park. Nashville in the gold and Charleston in the visiting white and black.
Interesting look for Nashville in that Jome has moved over to the left-hand side. He's a dominant left-footed player. He's switched sides. I suspect that Nashville will look to attack coming down the right-hand side relative to the fact that they're standing water primarily on the left-hand side of the field going forward.
Desmond, we watched it when we weren't on air during our halftime presented by Nissan. All the grounds crew bringing the squeegees out, sweeping the water off of the turf for Nashville. The rain continues to fall, but this is about as dry and workable as the pitch is going to be after all of the work done during halftime.
Yeah, noble effort in terms of trying to push that water off of the field where it was standing water. The question becomes how much more water is taken on by this field, considering the fact that the rain is still coming.
Liam Doyle. And now Taylor Washington involved. O'Brien Woodbine also included in the altercation. Farhad Donko, the center official, asking Taylor Washington to come over. And playing intermediary. And Washington is not normally a fiery or frustrated player. In fact, he's normally seems to be one of the happiest players on the pitch for Nashville, but I've never seen him this enraged at an opposition player.
Yeah, he was quite animated right there. Get your hands off me.
Keep up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7 by following at USL Soccer on all social media platforms. It's a bombarding run by Jay Bolt. Flops in the service. Dealt with by Joe, forwarded by Allen. They build with O'Brien Woodbine. Goal kick for Nashville.
Charleston's approach looks as though they're going to get the ball and just start serving it into the box. Take advantage of, again, the weather conditions. Hopefully the ball skips off someone, drops short, or whatever the case may be, because they don't have to necessarily attack, as opposed to what Nashville has to do to get the 3 points.
Wynn trying to work his way out of a tight position. Well, Gary Smith, the Nashville manager, when we talked to him earlier in this week, he said, quote, "If the players aren't aware that we need to win this game, they shouldn't be here." And he would take the worst performance of the season and a win over anything else. Basically his way of saying, I don't care how we do it. I don't care if it's pretty. I don't care if it's ugly. We need a win desperately. Nashville had the advantage in this one. Charleston equalized in the first half. Here we are, knotted at 1 goal apiece in the 49th minute.
Yeah, it's an interesting approach. It's almost like they have to go for broke. For the most part, they've been about a 500 team in terms of their performance. In order to get into the playoffs, it's almost as though they have to abandon reason and just go for it.
Interestingly enough, about the Battery, they've scored 19 road goals this season. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is 14 of those 19 have come in the second half. They've got the smoother surface to attack in this half as well.
Interesting point that you just brought up. In terms of how Charleston is approaching the game, in that they're scoring in the second half, is probably based off the fact that they can sit back and wait for some openings and possibly counter.
Misplay in the back by Thomas. He's gifted Nashville a throw in the attacking third.
Again, this side of the field is a difficult side because of the standing water. The question becomes, how quickly can they transition, Nashville, transition the ball to the opposite side of the field? There, you see the ball kind of dies. The footing is bad.
Sprayed wide for Hume. Taking Thomas one-on-one. Hume going down in the box. Jome is arriving. And the chaos results in a corner kick for Nashville SC. Hume appealing that he was hauled down in the 18. Let you be the judge, Desmond.
He's taking him one-on-one. I believe that he tries to get on the inside there. He loses possession. Doesn't necessarily flop. It just hits the ground. But what came out of it is an opportunity for a corner kick.
The Coca-Cola corner kick right in front of Nashville SC supporters.
Need a better service than that.
Reed couldn't clear the first barrier. Nashville reloads at the feet of Taylor Washington. This is not the place to play around with it. And a safety first clearance from Liam Doyle. Wild, it's a positive first touch. Joan trying to retreat to defend. Included by Liam Doyle. Neatly won by Hume. Shipped back to the towering striker. And it's Wild who will retry his attack. Desmond, you get the feeling that a goal in this one, if another one comes, it's not going to be a masterpiece. It could be one that's bundled in.
Without question, I think they should play for that as well. It doesn't have to be intricate. What it has to be is dangerous.
There's a full-blooded challenge from Vincenzo Candela.
My father used to tell me that a pretty goal and an ugly goal are the same. It's a goal. So a win pretty or a win ugly is the same. It's a win.
That man Gary Smith would take 3 points in any fashion tonight. Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportsamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. No problem for Odisnell Cooper. Cooper's an interesting story, 26-year-old from Havana, Cuba. Defected in 2012 in Toronto while on World Cup qualifying duty with the Cuban national team. The story does not end there. In fact, he is actually legally blind and wears contact lenses. Clearly able to see the ball because he's quite a good goalkeeper, and all the odds were stacked against him, and what a neat story it is to see him excelling here in the United States.
That's tremendous.
Wild has found a pocket of space, the head of the 18. Crunching challenge by LaGrassa. Hume on an island.
Did well to hold the ball up there, though.
Nashville prodding. Well, Gary Smith, the Nashville coach, told us the game plan coming in. He said he wanted his team to get to wide areas, make calculated crosses. He also said they don't want to get caught too high up the pitch and get counterattacked. And then if they find themselves in the position to score, they just have to do it.
With the tactical shift for Jom to come on the left-hand side and Wynn to go to the right, a dominant right-footed player, it may serve the purposes of getting the ball wide and then whipping the ball in for the opportunity of finishing the ball first time or second, as the case may be.
They're seeking Tucker Hume back post. Nods it across the 18. It's towards Brandon Allen. Hunted down by Washington. Flopped back in for Hume. I think there might have been a collision of heads. It's both combatants who had gone up for the ball. It's Taylor Mueller for Charleston and also Tucker Hume.
And one of the key things here is the fact that, just getting the ball wide for Nashville and putting hopeful balls into the box is playing into the hands of the defense of Charleston. They know what's coming, so all they have to do is sit back, drop back 2 steps, wait for it to come, and clear it first time.
Here's a look at the collision between Taylor Mueller and Tucker Hume. It's brave defending from Mueller.
Without question, have to get up on top of the shoulders of a 6'5" player and get to the ball. Looks as though his nose collided with the back of Hume's head.
So Mueller will have to go out. Just momentarily, they will be able to wave him back onto the pitch shortly. And for a temporary moment, Charleston will have to play with 10 men on the pitch. Tucker Hume also had to go out because he was involved in the injury investigation. So both teams playing with 10. And the sportsman thing to do for Charleston was to send it all the way back to Nashville. Now Tucker Hume has been waved back onto the pitch. Looks like Taylor Mueller, they're still trying to stop bleeding on his nose. So right now it is 11 versus 10. Nashville with the one-man advantage. And Nashville's going to attack down that right flank. It's Allen Wynn. Road blocked by Jay Bolt. Smashed away by Hackshaw. Okonkwo trying to turn it. Denied by Davis. Nashville SC's next home game will be Saturday, September 29th at First Tennessee Park against the New York Red Bulls. Single game tickets available online at NashvilleSC.com. That game 1 week from today. Nashville does have a midweek contest on the road against Atlanta United too. Oh, this is a well-worked counterattack by Charleston. It's O'Brien Woodbine. Service comes back post. Safety clearance by Washington. It returned to Woodbine. Another opportunity here for the visitors. And again, it's Washington. Now Thomas reloads. Bolts. It's a burnt rubber acceleration against Wynn. Trying to put his defender on ice skates. Late to the party was Gordon Wild. Couldn't get to the ball before the inline.
A lot of pressure on the Nashville defense there. As the ball was served in, it has to be cleared up and away as opposed to just getting your head on it and heading it down to the top of the 18, which gave Charleston several more opportunities to attack.
Remember, Nashville with 2 substitutions remaining. They had to burn one in the first half. Their star Lebo Maloto exited with a suspected knee injury. There are several Nashville players warming up behind the bench, and those players that you see there in red, those are the Charleston reinforcements.
Looks like this.
Oh, it's a red card.
Off the ball.
There was a play off the ball, and Patrick Okonkwo has been expelled. Charleston reduced to 10 men. A shocking sending off. Down for Nashville appears to be Justin Davis. Head in his hands for Davis. Head in his hands for Okonkwo. And Farhad Dodko wasted no time reaching for the back pocket. Mike Anhauser, the veteran coach for Charleston, absolutely baffled. As is Okonkwo. And Charleston has just gifted Nashville a massive gift in the 60th minute in a 1-1 game. Okonkwo, what he's doing is he's pointing towards the video board at the stadium. Now, why is he still on the field?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same question here. I'm looking, and if it was a red card, he would have to leave the field completely. Not just on the bench, but also the field, the bench over to the locker room.
I'm counting the players. Charleston still has 11 players on the field. The only thing I can think of, and Arnada Taha's down the sideline, we'll see if she can listen in on what the explanation is. The only thing I can think of is that the assistant referee potentially said something to preserve Okonkwo's eligibility in this game. Now it looks like Okonkwo is leaving the field. Chaos in Music City. And I'll believe it when Okonkwo does step on. I've never seen a player just walk back to his position when the ball was about ready to get into play. Okonkwo's at the top of your screen. His night is done.
Without question, he was walking around as though, hey, I hope nobody notices the fact that I just got a red card. Officially, the restart of the game should not occur until he is fully removed from the stadium, meaning get into the locker room.
Okonkwo having words with his countrymen, Boluak and Yodi, both of those players from Nigeria. Okonkwo pleading his innocence all the way to the locker room. And now Nashville up a man in a tie game at home. Desmond, they have to be hungry for all 3 points.
They have to be hungry, but they have to attack it from a context of not desperation, but systematically. How are we going to take advantage of the extra player?
And the yellow card comes out on Victor Mansoray. And at this pace, Charleston's going to run out of players if they keep fouling Justin Davis.
No question, if they don't calm down, they might implode. But from a tactical perspective, Charleston only has to do this. They were playing a 3-4-3. Now they play a 3-4-2, if you will. And if not that, then they play a 4 and bring a player back 4-1. It becomes the onus is on Nashville to have to break it down again.
Ball sent in towards Brandon Allen. Acrobatic from Cooper. Win. An overlapping run from Kimura. Nashville pushing forward at the feet of the young Taylor Washington. Time to pick out his cross. Hume. Kimura. Win. Blows right by 3 defenders. It's Allen Wynn. Doyle. Nashville fidgeting with the lock of the Charleston defense. It's a touch too far for Washington. Now the visitors a chance to spring a counterattack.
All too easy in terms of being able to sit back. Charleston, in this case, sit back, take on the pressure, knowing that the ball is going to be crossed. It has to be perfect cross coming in order for Nashville to actually get their heads on it. Once they get the ball, they counter.
Quick reminder to fans at home, this match presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Play hard, bank easy. On a crucial night, Nashville trying to pull all 3 points out of this. Win. Reed. Denied by Woodbine. Hopeful service from Washington. Cleaned up by Candela. Nashville looks like it's playing with house money now. Everybody able to go forward. Charleston barring the door. How long can they survive this Nashville pressure? Charleston trying to defuse a ticking time bomb right after this red card.
Again, the consideration has to be from Nashville's perspective is not just whipping balls in, reckless abandon, but to have it with precision, with some aspect of a tactical approach, not just to just kick the ball in there. It's too easy for the defensive Charleston just to sit back, absorb the pressure again, and hit on a counterattack, even with a man down.
Bring your group of 10 or more to a Nashville SC game. Groups receive special group pricing, catering options, and on-field experiences, including a group photo. To book your special group experience, call 615-457-8200. Hume forwarding it down. It's Allen who's run on. The play's blown dead, and they're going to say Hume climbed the back of his defender. Just 24 minutes of regulation without stoppage time. We imagine there'll be some additional stoppage time when we get to that point because of that long drawn-out expulsion of Patrick Okonkwo.
That was a good 5 minutes. He was still he was still on the field walking around. Am I out? Did I get the red card? Was it somebody else?
Imagine he might actually be watching us now in the locker room.
I'm talking to him. You're out. You got the red card.
I think he knows now. Charleston preparing a substitution.
Get some fresh legs in there again.
They're going to take out Victor Mansoray. So a forward coming out in Mansoray. And in his place, Angelo Kelly. So taking out some firepower and adding some armor.
They have become fortified. It looks as though they have 5 defenders right now.
That was our substitution presented by White Claw. Remember, Charleston specializes in draws on the road. They've only lost 3 games this season on the road. They have a USL Eastern Conference high 8 draws away from home. Allen trying to get to this before the inline. Able to earn the corner kick for Nashville, I see. Maybe earned a few abrasions with it. And the far side assistant referee says that ball crossed the inline before Allen could get to it, and it is a goal kick for Charleston. How about this substitution? It is Ropapa Mensah, a club legend after the first game. Scored the very first goal in this club's history in a preseason friendly. It is our substitution presented by White Claw. Ishjome will exit. And a roaring ovation for Ropapa Mensah, a player that his head coach Gary Smith says he injects fear in the hearts of opponents. The last time he scored, though, came in this building over 2 months ago in mid-June. Probably the most famous goal of this inaugural season. It came in the last touch of the game against North Carolina FC. Will he find some late-game heroics in a crucial contest for the blue and gold? SC relentlessly push forward with that substitution. Nashville now down to just 1 available exchange. Relibo Maloto left in the first half. First involvement for Mensah. Sturdy defending from Hackshaw. Supply denied by Kosuke Kimura. Mensah preparing the service. Whipped in, and again, road blocked by Hackshaw. Charleston bars the door. Digs in. Draws the line again. Reed probing. LaGrassa towards Hume. Had the matchup they wanted. Hume had isolated himself against the 5'7" Jay Bolts. Has nearly a foot on the defender. Dissolves into a goal kick for Charleston.
Nashville puts Wynn on the left-hand side now, and to see whether or not they can get him isolated, as well as with Mensah coming on the right-hand side to put him in a one-on-one situation to drive to the end line, as opposed to being so predictable by just serving balls in. Here's an opportunity for Nashville to close the space, close the Charleston into their defensive third. Hopefully win the ball and go straight to goal, because they're closer right now.
LaGrassa surging forward. Mensah, the left-footed cross, tantalizing in the box. Allen. Allen again. Relentless pressure from Nashville. Hume, Allen, wide. Well, Cooper was committed, the goalkeeper. Hume put it on a platter for Allen. And his goal drought from the run of play continues.
He's a big target on the back post here, drifting to the right-hand side, knocks it down, and the first time shot just goes wide.
Did Allen have time to take a touch, Desmond?
No, he didn't. He actually did the right thing in terms of hitting your first time. It's just a matter of you have to hit the target. He's a dominant left-footed player, it seems, though, having struck that ball with his right foot. Charleston's going to take their time, try to squeeze out as much time as possible on the clock, drive it long, and then move themselves up the field to try to close the space, compress the space, and force Nashville to work themselves back into the offensive third.
Nashville, go ahead, Desmond.
I was going to just say that Charleston is okay. They're comfortable with conceding some space here because they've dropped 5 guys back in the defense, have about 3 running around in the midfield and 1 up top. And so they'll concede this space. They're used to this.
Nashville interrogating the battery again. LaGrassa. Win. Picked out Kimura. Win. Cut out by Hackshaw. And now a rare chance to move forward for the battery. It's Gordon Wild on his horse. Smart defending from Justin Davis. We've been told that there may have been a shout for a handball on a play in the box. Wow. This was the shot from Allen. You know, when it's off the leg
Correct.
Of a player and then into his hand, and not directly to the hand, it's tough to call that.
That was a good no call. Great.
Washington, the service towards the towering Tucker Hume. Cooper again, flying out acrobatically. He's controlled the airspace.
No, sound judgment on his part to come out and punch the ball. A lot of inexperienced keepers will try to come out and catch that ball and drop it.
Charleston attacks with 3. It's about the best they could have done from Kelly, the substitute. It's time to vote for today's Budweiser Man of the Match. Find the poll at the official Nashville SC Twitter account at Nashville SC. Our substitution coming up as well, a substitution presented by White Claw, the unmistakable, formidable figure of Ian Svantesson. 6'5", and he will replace the German Gordon Wild, the Atlanta United Loney.
For Charleston, he'll serve as a target man for balls being sent all the way up. At distance, his role will be to get the ball down, shield it, and allow for the rest of the Charleston team to come up into space.
Now they're happy to get this substitution in now. Svantesson with so much height, and then it's O'Brien Woodbine with the cannon of a throw-in. Was read by Reed. Couldn't clear the line of Anunga. Quick reminder to fans at home, this match presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Play hard and bank easy. Nashville has Charleston, a team that came in 4th in the USL Eastern Conference. Nashville has the visitors on the ropes. A goal here late. and a victory for the boys in gold would put them back into playoff position. A draw would keep them in the choppiest of waters. It's headed down by Mensah. Pumped into the night by Bolts. I say that ball curled back into play. It went out of bounds, so Nashville will have a throw in here in the attacking third. They get proceedings back underway quickly. Neatly done by Bolt, the defender. Svantesson.
You know, most times when you have a man up, the team believes psychologically, oh, we're going to get this now. We're going to get this. But it becomes very difficult because the opposing team just holds their position.
Kimura, the tireless Japanese midfielder. Stunted by Bolt. Reinserted towards Davis. That's flicked along. Falls right at the feet of Svantesson. A token move forward for Charleston as Kelly collides into Davis. It'll be a Nashville free kick. Shoulder to shoulder collision. It's a real sturdy run from Bolt, who been excellent for Charleston tonight.
No question. Tight skills. Did very well in the offensive third, cutting the ball back 2 and 3 times to get the shot off, and actually got a corner kick out of it on his last run forward. Each time the ball goes out, Charleston has no urgency. They don't need it. They'll walk to the ball and again try to get it down into the offensive third for them, defensive third for Nashville Soccer Club.
This is an exhausting experience for Charleston. They played on Wednesday night. They obviously had to travel here to Nashville on Friday, so it's a short turnaround. And now they've played the majority of this second half a man down. And having to do it in a downpour makes it just as treacherous.
It can serve as an advantage for Nashville if they can move the ball a little quicker to exploit some of the spaces that are opened up relative to Charleston having a man down or being a man down. But Charleston's just bunkering it in right now.
Nashville and their supporters absolutely desperate for 3 points. Kimura, service towards Mensah. Hunted down by Tucker Hume. Hume almost caught Cooper napping.
That's what it might take, shooting from distance and then following up. Again, wet conditions, the ball can rebound off somebody, skip off of the grass, and give Nashville an opportune time to score.
Tonight's Ashton real estate attendance, 7,376. Now, when you look at our TV broadcast, there are a lot of empty seats, but the way that our cameras are set, there's a whole lot of fans actually in the concourse, in the covered areas. They just aren't captured in our camera. There they are.
There they are. I was looking for them. I really couldn't see them from our vantage point, but there they are.
Thankfully, we got an indoor seat for tonight's game, too. Mensah wide.
See that ball right there that was laid off by Hume to Mensah? Mensah needs to hit it first time. Can't take a touch. It takes too much time for the defense to recover, or it gives too much time for the defense to recover.
Coca-Cola corner kick for Michael Reed. In the 82nd minute. In a critical game for Nashville. It's a missed touch from Wynn. Back spinning ball from Washington. Sure-footed clearance from Thomas. Nashville back to the dissection. Reed. Mintz is lurking.
That was an excellent ball. Mintz is backing up as the ball gets served to the back post here. It's a nice clipped ball in. He's backing up and having to go back, get up above the ball to try to snap it back down toward the goal. Skips off his head, goal kick, but it was an excellent ball served to the back post. Looks as though there might be a little bit of mud, grass, debris in the eye of Thomas. Still wiping it off. Looks like he's ready to go. What else could it be? Sand? Wind? I don't know. Tonight was...
Got it all tonight, Desmond. Nada Taha is down on the waterlogged pitch. Nada.
Yeah, it looks like we've got another substitution coming in with Robin Schrute, but coach is asking for the team to be patient and go wide. Play the ball wide.
Well, what a substitution this is for Nashville. Robin Schrute set to check in. Has not had a USL appearance since April. That came against Penn FC. He does not have a goal this season. He does not have an assist this season. Has not made an appearance in months and months and months, and here he is in a critical game down the stretch.
Well, if nothing else, he's got some fresh legs.
It will be our substitution presented by White Claw. What a story this is if he could bag a winner. You can see the relief on his face, finally back into a game. He will replace Alan Wynn. It is a massive opportunity for this club to get 3 points. It is a massive opportunity for Robin Schrute to reignite his career. He's one of the great characters on the team. He's got great footwork, tremendous creativity. Just fell out of favor in the starting lineup. Now here he is. Chance to rescue Nashville SC. In a game that is 1-1, but a game that Nashville came in with the ambition of 3 points. There is Schrute with the yellow or gold sleeves, the long sleeves. Schrute played last season for a team in the Norwegian 2nd division. Was a prolific goal scorer in the 11 pro seasons leading up to this jaunt with Nashville SC. Scored 64 professional goals. Here is Schrute. Shipped up the line by Jay Bolts. Spontason couldn't control.
Coach Gary was pretty intense on the sideline there. When Schrute had the ball, it looked as though the ball did not fully go over the line, but it was called out of bounds.
Kimura, low-driven cross. Couldn't get it past Brian Ta'anuga. Kelly slaloming his way through traffic. Was nearly extracted by Mintz. Instead, it's a foul.
And again, Charleston will take this ball right here, walk to it, get it back in this position, check with the referee. Is it here? Mr. Rupp, is it here? To try to expire more time off of the clock. The ref signaling, I got the time here.
There should be a large amount of stoppage time. Had a long, complicated sending off. And also had a head injury that had to be tended to. Taylor Mueller, the center back, who's playing now. It's been a fair amount of time on the ground. All that time will be added to the watch of Farhad Dodko. At this point, Charleston would be thrilled to take 1 point back to the Low Country.
No question. Again, Nashville needs the 3, but 1 is better than 0 as they continue to push for another goal to acquire those 3 points to propel them into the playoffs.
Tonight's Budweiser man of the match, voted on by you, the fans. Number 12, Tucker Hume, the 9th minute goal on a bicycle kick. Supporters trying to will their players forward. They brave the rain. Torrential downpours on and off throughout this contest. They have been put to the test this year. Rainstorms, it snowed on game days. Intense heat, and they have shown up every single time.
Definitely excited for their team and support of their team. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that there was going to be a professional soccer team in Nashville, Tennessee?
And a year ago, how much would you have loved if you were told, not only will that professional soccer team be playing next year, it will be right in the thick of the playoff hunt with 3 home games to go after this.
Got to be a part of it, which they are.
Here we go. Nashville, desperate for 3 points. Craving a go-ahead goal. Prodding and plotting against a stubborn and disobedient Charleston battery squad. Charleston playing with 10 men. Doyle recruited into the attack. Too far for Reed. There's the pass from Schrute.
Yeah, it was a poor ball. It's taking this much time to take it from the left-hand side and clip it to the far right, which seems to be the thrust of their attack. Here it go again.
All hands on deck for Nashville SC on this attack. Gold numbers flooding forward. Kimura has drawn a double team, and he's drawn the foul. Tireless work from Kosuke Kimura. You wouldn't know he was 34 years old.
What?
Yes.
34.
34.
I might have some hope.
Absolutely relentless effort from Kimura. Just dogged determination. And it's gifted Nashville a free kick in the 90th minute.
It's an outswinger. Being bending away from the goal.
Deep into the hunt for the playoffs. Can Nashville snatch a victory at First Tennessee Park? Assistant referee raised his flag, said there was a handball on LaGrassa. And our answer about how much stoppage time will be given should be answered quite shortly. We approach injury time. Big moment right here. How many will Nashville get? 4. Fair, Desmond?
Yeah, it's fair. I thought it might be about 5.
No goals this half. Injuries and a red card, the reason for the 4. Mensah. Hopeful service towards Hume.
It's just far too easy for Charleston. As I mentioned before, all they have to do is sit back and wait for the ball to be served in, knock it out first time, and then potentially catch Nashville on the break. In this case, ball got played out first time, goes to the top player there, the number 9, and Nashville makes a foul. They've lost possession again.
Each foul you'd estimate 45 seconds?
Roughly. Because they're going to walk up to the ball. Is it here? Mr. Rep, is it here? And then serve it long once again. Deep into the heart of the defense or defensive zone of Nashville. A little more urgency right now from Nashville, pushing the ball forward. And we know where it's going. Again, right there. Ball comes in, Charleston's defense, there's no pressure there. There's no urgency from the context of any danger. The ball's coming. They know it.
Charleston has barred the door. It's Tucker Hume. Has earned the corner kick. And now all the gold jerseys can flood forward.
That was a good ball right there. Played into the seam of the defense of Charleston. Nashville's acquired a corner kick. It's an outswinger again, bending away from the goal to the advantage of Nashville, rushing in toward the goal.
Coca-Cola corner kick for Nashville. Knotted out for Washington. They'll reload. Michael Reed. Destroyed by Hackshaw. Forwarded out for a throw-in. Kimura. Desperate delivery. His last off a Charleston head. About a minute and a half remaining in stoppage time. Nashville trying to break the door down. Davis, back post service, Hume across the face of the goal. It's Robin Schrutz. Chaotic build-up. Mensah! Was that deflected? Yes. Correction, it is a goal kick for Charleston. The Nashville players had run over to take the corner kick. They were sure it had come off a battery defender. And Odisnell Cooper will take his sweet time getting this ball back into play.
Yes, he will. I anticipate a player from Charleston will go down with an injury on in the next 20 seconds.
Oh, it's a poor goal kick from Cooper. It was cleared away by Washington. And Svanson had slid in, and Washington wanted the foul. Borodonko unimpressed. Well, Charleston may never even have to get this ball back into play.
Well, Menze picked it up. He's going to hand it to him with a bow on it so they can restart the game here.
We're already over the 4 minutes of added time. All eyes on Farhad Dotko. There is the final whistle. In a downpour in Music City, the teams share the spoils. 1-1 at First Tennessee Park. Well, on most nights you may take a draw against a top 4 team. But on a night like this where Nashville was playing with a man up for the majority of the second half, and at home, they might feel hard done. Several chances. The goal came for Tucker Hume early. Charleston equalized in the first half. And the final tonight, exactly what the teams receive. A point apiece from First Tennessee Park. Still much more to talk about in this one. We'll have our final stats. We'll have our pinnacle save of the game from Matt Pickens. It's all next from First Tennessee Park. A draw this evening. Nashville and Charleston. Well, at a drenched First Tennessee Park, Nashville SC and Charleston Battery finally head to the locker room and begin the process of getting dry. It poured all game long. The supporters withstood it all, supported their team throughout. As we welcome you back to the pitch for Nashville SC time Charleston 1-1. John Freeman, former World Cup player Desmond Armstrong. Time to take a look at tonight's pinnacle save of the game. Matt Pickens really didn't have a whole lot to do in this match, but we have to rewind all the way back to the first half for our pinnacle save of the game. It's Gordon Wild. There's the save from Pickens.
Did very well there in terms of a driven ball from distance about 25 yards out. The first port in contact, he pushes it down. He's quick off the ground to pick it up, to parry it down to the ground, and thus then get control of it for the restart or the counterattack.
Then really in the second half, Pickens was merely a spectator. Charleston was reduced to 10 men after a Patrick Okonkwo red card, and Pickens merely just watched most of that second half. Well, let's go ahead and pull up our final stats. They're going to skew quite heavily towards Nashville SC. Looking back, yes, 11 shots for Nashville, 10 for Charleston, but so many of the real true opportunities came for the boys in goal.
Without question, I looked at it from a perspective of the ball being served to the back post. Hume, really active back there. He was a target man and trying to get balls there where he can either strike it on goal or knock it down for an on-rushing teammate to finish it first time. They didn't get the opportunity to really put any real pressure on Charleston's goalkeeper, but they have most of the possession in the second half.
Yeah, looking at that possession, 63-37. Nashville dominated the possession, but they could not find the go-ahead goal despite the relentless pressure there in the second half. So 1 point apiece for Charleston and Nashville SC. Here's how it impacts the standings. Nashville came in outside of playoff position. They continue to be below the playoff dividing line, but they are oh so close when looking at the playoffs. There they are. Well, when we look at this graphic, Nashville is actually 11th. They have lost the tiebreaker to Tampa Bay. Nashville has 40 points. But Desmond, look at this. They are 2 points out of 7th place. Nashville gets Atlanta on Wednesday, and then they get New York the following Saturday. Home game against Toronto FC, then closing the season at top of the table FC Cincinnati. It's a full plate for Nashville SC. It is a jumbled table right there at the playoff dividing line. What does Nashville SC have to do to push into the postseason?
Well, take this for what it's worth. They got a point out of the game, so that is forward momentum. Go into the next game, an opportunity to get 3 more points and continue to move forward. Don't be discouraged, stay very focused, and thus then capitalize on the opportunities that they do create and have to create in order to push themselves into a playoff position.
Yeah, it was also interesting. Nashville now has a point for a win against every team in the top 5 of the USL Eastern Conference table. As we take a look at the road to the playoffs, just 5 matches remaining in Nashville's inaugural season. There are the last 2, both of those will be at home, Toronto FC 2 and FC Cincinnati. That game, FC Cincinnati, during Oktoberfest, October 13th. Get your tickets now because they are going quickly. It's going to be a wild party at First Tennessee Park. We want to say a big thank you to everybody involved in our broadcast, including our crew who got drenched from the second this game started. I know it might not have been the most fun experience for them, but we absolutely appreciate everybody that was involved in our broadcast, especially those that braved the rain. Desmond, thank you so much, partner. I really enjoyed it.
John, I enjoyed it as well. Thank you for having me here. It was a great game to be here and get involved in supporting Nashville.
I appreciate it, Desmond. For my partner, Desmond Armstrong, I'm John Freeman saying so long from First Tennessee Park. Nashville SC and the Charleston Battery share the spoils tonight on a rainy Saturday night. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you next time, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.